Hi guys, it's Chris. Today we're going to talk about transitions. We're going to start with a primary shoulder-to-shoulder transition and how you can use it effectively on the airsoft battlefield. We're then going to move to a primary to secondary transition. A lot of people carry a secondary weapon system, but they don't necessarily know the steps in order to use it effectively. So we're going to try and help you out with that today. So first we're going to look at the primary shoulder-to-shoulder transition. It's very important for you to be able to shoot both from your strong side and from your support side. This is going to allow you to expose less of yourself on corners and give you the advantage when taking a corner or coming around a piece of cover. We're going to break the shoulder-to-shoulder transition down into 3 simple steps. But before we start, it's important to note that our transition method is based around running a 1-point sling. So if you run a different type of sling, you'll just have to adjust accordingly. So the first step in a shoulder-to-shoulder transition is to break the rifle from your chest. So we're going to punch our rifle out about 1 inch or 2, whatever's comfortable, and then we're going to tilt our rifle down. This allows our stock to clear both our sling and any equipment that we're going to be running on our chest, such as comms gear. We're then going to move the rifle over into our offhand position, come up on target, and switch hands. It's very important to break the rifle away from your chest because you clear your sling and any other gear you may have on. This is going to make your transition much smoother and much more repeatable. So that way you can practice these steps and it becomes second nature. Another note on the transition is that when we change hands, we typically change our support hand first. That allows us to keep control of our muzzle, and then when we come online with the trigger, we're in a position to make a much better shot. These are the steps that work for us in our typical setup. No matter what your setup, the important thing to take away is to make repeatable, efficient steps that you can practice. Shooting from your offhand is always going to be a bit uncomfortable, but the more you practice, the more efficient you get at it, the more second nature it will become. Now we're going to talk about primary to secondary transitions. Most of us carry a pistol in case of emergency, whether our primary is down or we're in a situation where a small weapon would be more beneficial. Either way, generally, we want to get that secondary out as quickly as possible. So here are some steps to help you with your transition. So our first step with a primary to secondary transition is recognizing that our primary system is down or needs to be swapped out. So we'll take that out of the way and position it somewhere where it's not going to be further in our way. So for myself, I'll tuck my sling over my mags. This gives me lots of room to draw my pistol and come up on target. Now obviously some of those steps can be done together. So typically, as we bring our primary down, we'll go for our secondary. Most people tend to drop their primary weapon system when they go for their secondary. The problem we find with this is that our rifle is still in our way. So if we have to move to a different piece of cover, we're hindered by the rifle. So it's very important to clear it in some manner. If it's off to the side or depending on your setup, just get it out of your way. Now our first step when we get to our secondary is to make sure we have a firm grip on the pistol and we're in a position where we can release the retention. So in my case, it's a thumb button. So I press the button, draw, and as soon as I clear that holster, my weapon is pointed towards target as it comes up on target. It's also extremely important to have a strong grip on your secondary. Having a strong grip is going to allow you to complete your draw successfully and going to put you in a good position to fire from. Oftentimes people will try and go too fast and end up with an off grip on your pistol, either a low tang or you're out of position, which is going to translate into a poor shot. As with shoulder to shoulder transitions, primary to secondary transitions should be broken down into small steps. This allows you to practice them slowly, and then you can build up your speed as well as efficiency. Practicing these individual skills, such as shoulder to shoulder transitions and primary to secondary transitions, is going to translate into you being a more effective and efficient player on the airsoft battlefield. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you find it helpful. Remember to subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them below.